This morning, New York City and Chicago are reeling from another weekend of gun violence. The grandmother of a 1-year-old shot and killed in Brooklyn, New York, is asking, when is it going to end? The numbers over the past month have been staggering, causing many to question if crime is on the rise across this country. Historically, crime does go up in the summer, but when looking at the data in 4 major cities, crime is actually down compared to this time last year. Shootings, however, are a completely different story. In New York City, shootings in the last 28 days are up. Are you ready for this? 166% and 53% year to date. In Atlanta, Georgia, they are up 124% compared to last June. In Chicago, they're up 76%. And in LA, shootings are at about the same levels as they were at this point in 2019. Joining me now to discuss, Bill Bratton. He's the former NYPD police commissioner. He also led police departments in Boston and Los Angeles, and he created the system that tracks crime in cities across this country. I can't think of someone better to turn to on this topic. Bill, what do you make of this data? In multiple cities, overall crime is down, but shootings, they're way up.
Well, I'm struck, Stephanie, by the parallels between what you've just been reporting on the coronavirus and what we're now talking about crime. Coronavirus is out of control at the moment based on the reporting you've just done. The crime virus is potentially going out of control. Much the same reason that many of the controls that we had in place that were working to deal with the coronavirus, similarly, many of the controls that we had dealing with crime have been taken away. So my expectation is that this summer is only beginning. The crime situation, particularly violent crime, is going to get worse, not only in those 4 cities, but many other major American cities. Why? Because so much of what we depended on to deal with the crime virus has been taken away. We have phenomenal criminal justice reform underway, much of it needed, but maybe going too fast, too soon. We have also issues of decriminalization, and we have the issue of the police. The police are demoralized. They are being defunded. So if we think it's bad now, what are we going to do after New York takes away 1/6 of the NYPD budget? What's Los Angeles going to do when it reduces its already too small police force by over 1,000 officers in the months ahead? So let's take a look at the parallels between the coronavirus, what's not working there, and the crime virus, and what's not working here. The similarities are striking.
But the idea isn't to cut the budget naked. The idea is to redeploy that money and put it somewhere where it could be more impactful. Do you think that just doesn't work?
Good luck on being more impactful. We'll try it in terms of how it's going to work. Who knows? But let's face it, the key to crime control is the idea of dealing with the prevention focus on crime and disorder. We have basically given up on disorder in terms of enforcing social norms of behavior on our streets, graffiti, prostitution, smoking of marijuana in public, drug dealing. We've given up on that, and that then provides a better breeding ground for more serious violent crime. So the idea that overall crime is down in these cities, look at the crimes that are down. Grand larceny. I'd be willing to bet most of that grand larceny reduction is people who are no longer reporting crime to the police because they don't believe anything's going to be done about it, because they see the police are not doing anything about conditions in their neighborhoods. So I've been doing this for almost 50 years. And I think we had a lot of things right in the 90s that turned the crime situation around from the 70s and 80s. A lot of things we got wrong also, much the same as dealing with the coronavirus. We're learning as we go. A lot of reforms necessary. But we're in an Etch-a-Sketch moment. The last 30 years of crime reduction, things that worked, we're getting rid of them. And now we're going to try and reinvent many of the things that we know already worked while we try to correct those that we know did not work, over-incarceration, for example, or maybe too much quality of life enforcement. But I'm very, very concerned about the crime situation in this country, crime and disorder. And I watch again the parallels between, I speak very often about medicine and crime. The similarities are just so striking to me. And again, I'm just worried about the rest of this summer. I see no signs it's going to abate in American cities.
But, sir, we did see an uptick in shootings in New York City, for example, from 2018 to 2019. That trend was happening regardless of this corona parallel perfect storm you describe.
Well, the coronavirus is only an influence. We also have the influence of unemployment. We have the influence of so many other things going on. We have a phenomenal in New York City.
But a year ago, sir.
I'm sorry?
Shootings were on the rise a year ago. We didn't have an unemployment problem a year ago.
I haven't finished my comments about what's been influencing it. In New York City, New York State, a significant influence was a lot of the criminal justice reform initiatives that have been underway. The idea of the jail population in Rikers, the city jail, has been reduced by half. The state prison population has been reduced by 40%. Those are all good things if those people coming out of prison have jobs to go to, which they don't, have shelters to go to oftentimes, which they don't. So there are a lot of other influences in each city that are impacting. It's just coronavirus, isn't just unemployment. There's a lot of other factors underway at this time in America. And you have to take it all in terms of into the discussion about what do we do about it going forward.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.